Hey guys, welcome to the Reborn High Times Presents Free Weed from DANKO podcast, which is for me, the High Times podcast with Josh Kesselman. My goal is for this not to be like any other podcast you've ever listened to or watched, because then what's the point? I want to help you succeed by sharing stories and information from myself and my guests. I've lived quite a life so far, and I've succeeded beyond my wildest dreams. If just one piece of knowledge that I share with you helps you succeed, or to simply realize that you're not alone in what you might be going through, then this podcast is a tremendous success. As you listen to this, I want to invite you to do something unusual. Let's take down our walls for a moment. Let's really allow our souls to shine, Marcus Aurelius style, because Marcus Aurelius once said that we only have one small chance to let our true self be seen. And this is that chance. This is a moment where we get to connect without all the armor, without all the performance, and just be raw together. Now, I got here by chasing freedom and happiness. If you know my story, my biggest fear was that I was going to become an accountant. It kind of still is. Today, I live on what's basically a little rescue horse ranch in Arizona. There's a blind horse, an old abused, very sweet rodeo horse finally at peace, a donkey pulled from a mud pit, and hundreds of quail I feed and protect every day. And that is my happiness. I don't live on a mansion on a golf course in Beverly Hills or in some fancy gated community, and I don't want to. This life, full of love and meaning, is mine. And the point is, your happiness doesn't have to look like mine or anyone else's. Follow your heart and your soul, and you'll find what feels real. Inspiration for each one of us is individual. As the founder of Raw and owner of High Times, I still can't believe people assume my story is just about business or cannabis. But the deeper lesson is this: we all get higher together. Helping others succeed isn't just about them. It lifts all of humanity. Every time you share wisdom, give an opportunity, or simply lift someone up, you're contributing to something far bigger than yourself: the rise of us all. So ask yourself, what truly makes me happy? Not rich, not impressive to others, but soulfully happy. Because when you know that, your chase changes. That first thought when you first wake up in the morning changes, and your whole life changes. This isn't just about me or my awesome guest here. It's about helping you win and hoping that when you do, you will do something amazing with it. So let's begin. Let's connect soul to soul. Life is short, and we only get this one chance to let our true selves be seen. And this is the first time we're doing this podcast. So I'm telling you, there's going to be a lot of errors. There's going to be glitches. And camera's going to be pointed in the wrong direction. And I'm asking you to pay attention anyway. I'm doing my best to take down my wall, so please take down yours too. Let me introduce my very first guest, Jacob Karp. And I want to tell you how we selected him. And then we're going to jump into some serious, very important knowledge.
High times, hustle, roll it, light it, muscle. Culture in the veins, it's a never-ending bustle. High times, hustle, roll it, light it, muscle. New wave rising, Josh got the vision.
Now, Jacob put up a really good question in the comments. And then when we spoke with him, he mentioned how he was a huge fan of High Times, mentioned which cover he liked the most, and even mentioned the purple lights of the Cottonmouth Kings cover. And then he was in.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I've been a huge fan of High Times my whole life.
Me too.
Yeah, that was my way into the culture for such a long period of time, getting into the culture a little bit younger. And the Cottonmouth Kings was a band I really liked at the time, and that right on the cover was big, bright purple lights, and it just caught my attention. And
do you remember the first High Times you ever looked at?
First High Times I ever looked at had Bob Marley on the cover.
Okay.
Not a crazy...
But do you remember the feeling it gave you when you saw that first High Times?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I really felt like the door opened up into the community, especially back then. It was a little tighter knit. It was a little harder to get into.
Yeah.
And that just completely felt like it was just my passage directly into the
Isn't
lifestyle.
it, you know how many of us there are where High Times was the first thing that actually really opened it up? It was the first time I ever opened a High Times. It was the first moment I realized I wasn't alone. Whereas to that point, I kind of felt like I was. Like I was kind of...
outcast, for sure.
Yeah, and the moment I opened that thing, it was like a whole magazine dedicated to people like me. And it it made me feel like I was enough. Ha! You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I still love High Times to this day, and I still remember that first time I felt that feeling, and that's one of the reasons why it was so important to me to save it, which is why we're doing this podcast right now.
Thank you for doing that.
So, so Jacob, you're part of the cannabis community, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I am the CEO and co-owner of the first state licensed solventless company in Arizona, the Inventing Room.
Yeah, and you did a lot with donuts, right?
Yes,
Tell us.
sir. Yeah. So we are one of the first people in Arizona to bring donuts to the market. We're not the very first, but we're the first person to bring it in large, in bulk. We want everyone to try it. We want everyone to get their hands on it. We got a real killer in our lab, Desert Doinks, rolling our joints for us. He's very well known. He has rolling classes and different things.
Have you noticed the difference between like hand-rolled ones and the machine ones where you inject?
Absolutely. I don't think, I don't mean to be presumptuous by any means, but I don't see a world where we can do a machine hash hole. Not currently. The hand roll is just, it's the perfect experience through and through.
I agree, man. There's something about the hand-rolled one. Always. Any hand-rolled one, just to me, smokes better. Now, the thing is, the ones that I roll myself, I like the most because I roll them for myself.
Right.
So like these little pieces, you know what I mean? And by the way, I don't know if you know this, but we got some amazing comments. You were up against like heavy hitters, you know?
Yeah.
But it was when we followed up with certain people, the way you followed up with us, your responses to us made us realize that like you were the first one we talked to where we immediately knew like, okay, this guy he's such a fan of High Times that we got to bring this guy in, you know? Because the goal is like for you and I to communicate, but it's really about them, you know? And I feel like some of the questions you have are going to inspire and uplift everyone.
I'm glad to be a part of it. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah. So I think we should kind of jump right into it. First, I'm going to do my short disclaimer.
Okay.
I have to do this. Lots of fun.
Right.
And then we're going to jump right into it.
Perfect.
And hit it out of the park. You ready?
Cool.
I wish I didn't have to do these disclaimers, but I do. Everything I'm about to say is based on my own personal experiences and opinion. In some cases on legend. I might get some things wrong, and such is life. If I say something is the best, that means it's the best or perfect for me, not necessarily the best for you, because we're all individuals with more synapses in our brains than there are stars in the galaxy. And that actually apparently is true. I'm also not a doctor, so if I give any kind of advice that seems like it's medical, it ain't. I don't know what I'm doing here, man. But we're going to have some fun. You ready?
Let's do it.
So what's your first question?
So my first question for you, Josh, is what are some integral positions you need to have on your startup team to ensure your brand's success?
Okay, the most important thing I truly believe, and this is just my opinion, you know what I mean, is that you yourself, the person who's the entrepreneur, you kind of have to be able to do everything yourself. You have to truly know it. In the very beginning, when I started, I tried putting other people in charge of many things because I didn't want to learn them. I didn't want to learn IT. I didn't want to do any of those things. And yet, by not knowing them, it made me a lot weaker. And the more I learned how to even repair a computer, how to write in DOS, do things like this that I really did not want to learn, it forced me to understand the business at another level. I remember at one point I wasn't even doing sales. I had someone else doing sales. I won't mention his name. And it wasn't the same. My business, HBI, truly began succeeding when it was just me. At that point, a couple of my staff that were working with me had quit one Monday morning. I came in to find out they had both quit, and there was nobody left but me. There were only 3 of us to begin with. Now it was just me. So I would be at the front. I would be calling out, getting an order. Then I'd go to the back, pack the order, get it ready, put it on the UPS table, go back to the front, and call out till I got another order. And that is how my day would go until eventually I got big enough where I could have a shipper. And then my shipper kept calling in sick, so I had 2 shippers. And that's really how HBI, this giant wholesale company that some of you guys might not realize, it's huge, man. And that really just started with just me. Now, that's important to you to understand that should be you. Listen, there's so many things that you don't know, and you don't want to know them, but you kind of gotta. Like I truly believe that the more you know about your own business, the greater the odds are that you're going to succeed. If you could step into any role in the organization within reason, then man, you are destined for success. Just freaking destined for it. And just because you don't want to do it, because I don't want to do a lot of the things. I didn't want to learn a lot of these things. I didn't want to, back then we were running the whole company on QuickBooks. I didn't know how to use QuickBooks. I did not want to learn how to use QuickBooks. I hate accounting. Some secret about Josh is Josh freaking hates accounting. But I learned it anyway. I became really good at it. In fact, I almost became like a master of that shit at the time. And it was only because I had to. And by knowing that stuff, it made it when later on, there was a time when HBI got dramatically stolen from by someone who was running it. And I was able to go in there and find all the stuff because I was an expert on those kinds of things,
Right.
on running that accounting system. I found the spaces, I found deleted transactions and things like that. So you got to learn it yourself. You got to learn how to do every single role. So the most important person on your team is you. It really is. And if you think you can't do that stuff, freaking learn it. It sucks, but learn it. There's so much easier nowadays to learn things than it was, for me it was in 1997, you know?
imagine,
Yeah, you have real internet. You got ChatGPT. You got all these things. Don't let it do it for you, but let it teach you. You know? Like, I believe, Jacob, that let's make up an imaginary business selling these new markers, okay? I truly believe that if like a guy named John wants to start a marker business making these Sharpies, I believe that if he truly understood how to make the product, he knew the intricacies of it, if he knew every little nuance of this particular marker, right, and how to make it better, maybe he makes a better one of these where it lasts twice as long, right? And he makes it even out of a plastic that doesn't shed microplastics. He really elevates the product to the next level. And now he starts a business selling these, and he's the one going out there. Well, he hires a salesperson. The salesperson's trying to convey John's passion for markers. He's trying to convey these things. Well, you try. He might do a good job. But if John himself is the one going into the stationery store saying, look, I made this marker. Let me tell you how I made it better. It does this and this, and I made it without that. And you know what? And look, and these things that always break off on the end, because you've all had that Sharpie where the thing breaks off right there like that. Well, mine doesn't break off. In fact, mine's elastic like that, so it snaps back and holds it even better. And he shows you how he improved it. Well, the dude behind the counter at the stationery store is going to be like, hell yeah.
Right.
Give me a display. And in fact, I'm going to put it right here in front for everyone to see it because I believe in you and I like your product. That's amazing. You know?
It's not a passion regurgitated.
Right,
from
by
someone
somebody
else.
else. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then when he goes back, the more he can do the things himself, the better it'll be. Of course, he's going to need staff, and he's going to have to scale up, and all these things. But
But that's where it starts.
it starts with him. It's really about him and truly understanding what it is that he's selling and making it better for other people.
So that leads me into my next question. Do you believe that John can create that culture from that business, or is that something that is going to only happen organically?
I believe it only happens organically.
Okay.
John going out there and sharing his passion for this marker, for me, it was rolling papers.
Right.
But me going out there into the world and showing what I was doing and helping people understand it was so important. John could go out there, he could pay influencers to use this marker, right? Let's say he saved up enough money and paid a Kardashian to use this marker, right? That could really help him. It could really boost sales. But it's not the same as John himself teaching you about why this is the best marker that's ever been made in the history of markers. Now, if John's business model was something else, let's say John's business model was, I made a cheaper marker. That's something else. That's just something else. But when a product is truly amazing, this is how I've learned my particular path to success. And there are others, but I really prefer mine,
Right.
which is you make a better mousetrap. You've heard me. I'm not telling them my grandfather's mousetrap story, but you build a better mousetrap and the world beats a path to your door, right? That means your product has to be so good, it is the best that's ever been made. So if you and I go into the marker business, bro,
Right.
we're going to make
Better
the
be
best,
the best.
marker
Right.
that has
Amen.
ever been marked. We're going to find a way, man. We're going to find a way. And we won't stop until we do. And if we do that, I believe we're going to freaking succeed.
Right.
To the highest level. And I think we're going to be, if we're that passionate about it, where we're, holy shit, man, we're bringing it. If we're bringing it like that, there's guaranteed that
It'll
people,
naturally exceed.
dude, somebody who's going to hand someone a regular boring old Sharpie, somebody like, dude, no way, I want a John marker, bro.
Right,
I don't want
right.
that shit. Give me a John marker. Have
Right.
you seen that thing? What's a John marker? Oh, dude, it does this and this and this. Oh my God, it doesn't have that on there. Oh, but give me that one. I want that one. And then next thing you know, people are really passionate about it. It spreads. I think we humans have a tendency to want the best. I didn't understand that when I started in this business at all. When I was making my first products, like even when I made Raw, I was making it for a bunch of my hippie friends with dreads and shit, you know? I wasn't making it for the mass market. I didn't understand them one bit. I was making it for this one particular group of like the highest end smokers I knew, you know?
Exactly.
2 of them were in the Rainbow Gathering, you know?
Cool, yeah.
And as Raw took off as successful as it did, I wasn't paying influencers. There was no such thing. I wasn't really doing, I can't remember ads or any of that kind of shit. I gave away a lot of free product to get into people's hands so they could see it was the best. I did a lot of that. I needed you to experience it. You can understand what I was doing here. And that alone drove the passion. That alone drove that organic growth where it was real. And the cool thing about it being real, instead of paying our Kardashian, is that by doing that, it lasts longer.
Or it makes a lasting impression.
Yeah, it just goes on and on.
Advertisement from a celebrity.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's the one Kim Kardashian used 10 years ago. No. No, that's the best marker in the world. Right. Like, what? I want that.
The guy who made it told me so.
Yeah, the guy who made it. And like, got it. He explained to me why it's better. It needs to be authentic. And I think we as a society are lacking that. But more importantly, because it isn't about me, and this is not about you, it's about them, right? So if you're making a product, my challenge to you, to everyone, is can you make the best that's ever been made? Can you do that? Because I think you can. And I want that to be your mindset as you go into this. The product should sell itself. Word of mouth should spread because your item, whatever it is that you made, is so amazingly fantastic that it blows human beings' minds and in its own way uplifts all of us, right? If you can do that, then I think you deserve to win. You deserve to succeed. And I believe that society thinks that too. And they want to reward you with those made-up little slips of things called money, which is actually just a fucking piece of paper.
Literally.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So it's got to be, people have to feel connected to it because they feel your passion, but they also understand what you're doing. They try your item. They try your donut, and they smoke it, and they go, holy shit. Dude, I've smoked 1,000 donuts in my life. I just smoked that one. That's the best donut I've ever smoked in my life. In my life. Well, I want that donut, man. I want that thing. And next thing you know, this is what happened with me. You've got rappers singing about your donuts, making up songs about your donuts, Bran.
Amazing.
Wiz Khalifa made a song called Raw. I didn't pay him a penny for that shit, dude. He loved it that much. And that's what I want for your product. So cool. Because if your product is that good, that some huge artist is making up songs about it, getting it tattooed on him, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's going to spread.
Then that's going to spread, but it also tells you that you're doing something right. You have truly added to the fabric of human society. You deserve to win, bro. You deserve that shit. That's what you're here for. That's what this bullshit, I'm sorry, I hate to say this word, capitalist society was supposedly based on. It's based on you making something better than anyone else and getting rewarded for it. It's based on you solving a problem. Sorry, this is rattling. It's based on you solving a problem for all of us. A problem that we might not have even known that we had.
Right.
And by doing that, you have uplifted us, and you deserve that reward of those little made-up slips.
So when you said earlier that everyone is looking for the best, you really do believe everyone's looking for the best of what's out there? Because I find sometimes in this industry, I feel personally sometimes there's a demographic of customers who are going for more of the cheaper,
the value
product.
Even though they are doing that, and I meet them all the time, you know, the ones who will buy a cheaper pack of papers or a cheaper whatever it is, I meet them and I understand them. Even though they are doing that, what the heart desires is not that. They, if really given the choice, hey man, okay, now this is all free.
Money aside.
Which one do you want?
Exactly.
Well, fuck you, give me the good one, man. It's that's us. That's us. You know what I mean? You don't fake it. That's a key thing that I try to and I want people to understand. It smells funny when you do. If, let's say, I went into the donut business and yet I don't even smoke. This happens. This really happens.
Unfortunately, it does. Yes, I've seen it.
So now I'm in the donut business and I don't smoke, and that's just sad for even to say. It's hard. I'm trying to keep like my foot tapping because it's like hard. Because I run into this stuff, man. I meet these people. And it's like, okay, so now I'm in the donut business. I don't even smoke. And my big thing is now, why am I in the donut business? Why? Right. I'm not authentic, right? Because I don't even smoke. You could tell probably even in my brand name, I might come up with the worst brand name in the world because since I'm not really part of the market and I don't really smoke and my people don't probably smoke, we're faking it, bro.
Yeah. You're just fishing for verbiage.
Right. So then it's like, oh, donuts. Well, I know. So I eat a lot of donuts. So I'm going to call mine, I'm going to call it Boston Cream. Right? Not even thinking about it. I'm just going to call mine Boston Cream. There we go. Ding! Boston Cream. There's my brand of donuts. Okay, we were like, That's kind of cool. Okay, that tastes interesting. All right. But then as I go through it, you can feel it in the product. The consumer, the smoker, they know when they hit it. They can tell that you didn't really do it. I'm probably, because all I care about, obviously, is money, right? Why else am I doing this?
Right.
I'm not doing it because I love donuts. I don't smoke donuts, bro. So I'm doing it for money. Now, because I'm doing it for money, inevitably, in my experience, I am going to cut corners. I'm going to put in ingredients that you are not putting in yours. I'm going to add something to maybe the worm itself to make it easier to form. I'm going to do something that you wouldn't do in a trillion years. I want you to truly have your product in your soul. I'll get asked questions, and you'll inevitably have one about work-life balance and things like that. I don't have a work-life balance because you live what you do if you truly love it.
Right.
If you love it that much, then why do you, oh, no, I've worked too much. Now I got to go have fun. But what if your work is your fun, bro?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
My joke is always I didn't want to work a 9 to 5 anymore, so now I work 24/7.
Yeah. It's I'm trying to think of telltale signs. You can tell telltale signs of when a product is not genuine because they might name it like everyone else. Like for us, when we're branding, we're thinking more about the feeling that name conveys. How strong is it?
The experience.
Is it? Yeah, but is it something that someone's going to get tattooed on them? Does it give you that feeling? When I say the word, is it enough to convey a feeling to you that you feel in here without ever even seeing the product? Before you even had a chance to see my marker, did the name I come up for it with it already give you a feeling that is what I wanted you to feel before you even saw it, before you even experienced it? So that when you get to experience it, your brain already knows. There's already a softening that occurred. So you accept it like, oh yes, of course that's that.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, a little bit of an intermittent there.
There's sometimes it's really hard to do. Like some of the names we've come up with, it's taken me like a long time, and even at the end of it, some of them I'm not happy with. Sometimes I get lucky, and a name will come to me more easily, like Raw. That was because of a song, you know, that I grew up with, Big Daddy Kane song, because I was thinking he's going to give it to you raw, you know. And I had that feeling. I remember the way that song made me feel, and I wanted the paper to give you that feeling, you know.
Cool.
Other things like Ethereal took me a long time, where I was really trying to think of what the feeling of that paper was like, so that before you even experienced the paper, which is a hard paper to roll.
Right.
That's a hard one to roll. It's amazing, but it's a hard one to roll. I wanted you to understand what you were going to experience before you experienced it. So I'm trying to convey that to you. Now, just imagine some dude who's sitting around concentrating on nothing but money saying shit like that to you. You know what
Exactly.
I mean?
It's just not going to come out.
Right. By the way, so if you're watching my podcast because you're all about money and trying to think about that kind of shit,
Wrong podcast.
Wrong podcast. Change the channel, man. This isn't like that, you know? Because I'm going to keep beating into your head about not faking it. Real lasts. It really does. That Kardashian thing does not last. It's awesome. You can make some extra money. Scrooge McDuck.
Right.
But you're not going to build something that your kids are going to inherit.
Exactly.
And your
creating
grandkids.
A legacy brand.
Yeah. And you're not going to elevate all of us in human society, which is really what this should be about. Like, I like to dial things back for a moment to understand what business really is supposed to be about, right? We're supposed to be rewarded for adding to the fabric of human society, for inventing, for making a better wheel, right? I made a better wheel. Look, now we can roll the rocks even faster down to all this kind of stuff. I should be rewarded. I get extra food that day. It all comes back to that sort of thing. So if we allow ourselves to understand what our society, our money-driven society is supposed to be about, and just accept it for a moment, think about how that changes things, right? If you're making donuts not in order to make a bunch of money and buy a Mercedes, if you're making donuts in order to make the best donuts that's ever been made, understanding full well that once you do that, naturally you're going to be rewarded with those made-up slips, bro.
Right.
Of course. You made the best. You deserve it. But how does it change the way you think? Imagine a society where we are all competing even more on quality, on experience, on elevation, making things better, making humans better. Imagine that compared to the other way.
Yeah. I do every day. Try to anyways.
Yeah.
Well, that does make me want to ask a question as well. How do you keep that mind state and you keep progressing that attitude once you've reached financial success?
That's about motivation and about what really motivates you. So, I'm trying to think how to put this. Give me a sec. All right, there's two paths I've seen. One path is if your only motivation was money, you'd think, okay, maybe the person's made enough money and they're no longer motivated, but no, that stuff's addictive. It's you'll never have enough. When I was in high school, I read a book, a short story that I promised myself I would never, ever, ever be like. And it was a story about a man who was granted a wish, and he could wish for absolutely anything, right? And so he wished for more wishes. And that wish was granted. He couldn't believe his luck. He got more wishes. So he said, what am I going to do with all these additional wishes? And every day he could get another wish. So the next day he woke up and said, I'm going to wish for even more wishes. And that was granted. He had even more wishes. And he couldn't believe it. So the next day he did the same thing. And every day he would wake up and wish for more wishes till eventually he died with a whole giant pile of unfulfilled wishes. And that story stuck with me. And I promised myself I would never be that. Now, what are these slips of fucking paper that we all chase, right? It's just wishes, isn't it really? I wish for whatever. That's what that little slip kind of is in a way.
For sure.
So eventually, you got to fulfill your wishes if you have them. For my personal wishes, I think I've already fulfilled all of them, right? I've already done everything I really wanted to do that I could think of. There's no monetary thing I really want that I haven't gotten because there's not much I really want anymore. So, I mean, of course, always something, but I'm kind of, one of the cool things about being really successful, if you're lucky, is that when you're more successful than you ever want it to be, then you're more successful than you ever actually want it to be. You know what I mean? And then it kind of like, okay, well, now I'm not really chasing money anymore because it's like, well, I don't really need it anymore. This is great. This is awesome. But like, it isn't, I don't want to be that guy with the unfulfilled wishes, man.
Right.
So you start chasing what actually makes you happy. And this is answering your question. It's taking me a while going around.
Of course. No, take your time.
So what makes you happy? Now you go start chasing more towards that. What makes me feel fulfilled? What makes me feel good? What should I really be doing? Well, if you ask Marcus Aurelius, we're supposed to be serving each other. Okay, well, that's something that can help motivate you, man. If you start really accepting that, if you start accepting Stoic philosophy, then it's, well, if we're all here to serve each other, then my motivation every day is to get up and serve you. I need to do better for you. I need to help more people. I am here to serve other people. Well, that's going to motivate you every single day of your life if you accept that. In addition, a big motivating thing is love what you do.
Right.
Because if you love what you do, then every single day your wishes are coming true. One thing I want to talk about is my secret weapon, which is empathy. Empathy. I once did a whole video on Instagram about empathy, giving away my biggest secret to my competitors and everyone else, and I feel like nobody listened. It's like this. If you and I are smoking together, as we were off camera, we have to do it off camera. I'm sorry, guys. We're trying to make this thing where we can actually play it. Something happened while he was partaking, and I immediately thought about how I could fix that, how I could solve it, how I could make that thing better for you, what had happened, why that occurred, and every little thing that was going in my head, and I already came up with 3 solutions to make sure that what just occurred, which resulted in a splash on the table, would never happen again, right? Now that is how I want people to be with their products. If you truly understand your market, it's not even a bad word for it. Market is not even the word I want to use. The people you're making this stuff for. If you really get them, if you truly allow yourself to understand them, if you're one of them, and you allow yourself to empathetically connect with them, like you and I are sitting here, right, and we're seshing, and as we do that, as we look at each other, naturally, our mirror neurons start firing. We start understanding each other in a different way. Now, really explore that for a moment. Allow yourself to really understand what the person is experiencing as they're partaking. Why did they do it that way? Why did that happen? Why is he doing that? How can I make it better for him? Because that's my job, bro. That's what I'm getting paid for. All these questions, all of this stuff is really boiling back down to, I got a job to do, man. I work for you. And when you're doing something, if you're rolling up and I see that you're doing it in a particular way that's a little different and something went wrong right there, my job is to serve you and to find a way to make that better for you, to elevate you, to now look, you didn't realize it, bro, but you were doing this and as you were rolling up, little bits keep falling off the end. So I made you this thing here to make where that doesn't happen anymore. And you're like, bro, that's awesome. So if I ask you, though, what do you need? That might answer 20% of the questions, maybe that much. 80% of it is simply understanding you, really connecting with you, figuring it out and being like, oh my God, that's why he's doing that.
Right.
I can fix that. I know I can fix it. I know I can. And then if I can fix it, then I've done my job as a human being and part of our society and part of our freaking community. It has to be authentic like that, man. If I'm faking it, if I'm just in it for the money, there's no chance in hell of that ever fucking happening.
Right.
There's not going to happen.
You're not even going to gauge any of those observations.
No, I have to understand your needs, and the best way for me to understand your needs is to be one of you, so there's us. So whatever you're doing, you got to be part of that community. You got to be like a master of that community. You've got to truly allow it in here, I am very empathetic with smokers because I'm a freaking smoker, man. And it's done so much for me in my life. So a lot of the answer to your question, a lot of the answers to everyone's questions is empathy. Allowing yourself to truly experience what it is that the other person is experiencing, and then figuring out how you can make that better for them. You're making donuts. Watch somebody smoke a donut. Look for little intricacies of what they're doing. Did they light it right? If they didn't, it's not their fault. It's always our fault.
100%.
100%. We didn't have it. You should have a hang tag on there saying, make sure you do it this way. It's our fault, always. And let's teach them. Maybe we need to do a teaching thing. Now, here's one problem. If you're faking it, you can't teach.
Yeah, you can't,
teach.
Can't teach authenticity.
You can't. So in the rolling paper industry, you'll see, I'm one of the few that is doing these sorts of videos, teaching you things like this, right? Because a lot of these guys, I think they've never been to a mill in their life. So how are they going to teach you how something's made? They haven't been inside a rolling paper factory, let alone have their family own it or studied the history and gone into the depths of old factories that have been abandoned for 100 years. No way, man. So how are they going to teach you about these things?
Can't teach something you don't know.
They don't know. They just want money. They're chasing a different kind of paper than And that's okay. That's okay. A lot of our society is based on that. I just am trying to encourage you and everyone to do it a little differently, because I truly believe that if we fake it, we all end up with the same result. If you make it, you make it. Don't ask what will succeed. Ask what people actually need.
Fill a need.
Gotta fill that need. That's what we're supposed to get rewarded for. That's what those made-up slips of paper are really about, right. There's a way to fake it. We could trick it. We could do scams. We could do NFTs. But what do people actually need? Can I fill that for them? Well, then I've done a really great thing for society, haven't I?
Right.
If I've made it better for you, then I've uplifted you. And if you make it better for me, then you've uplifted me. And you deserve to be rewarded for that, bro. You really do.
I love it.
Yeah, man, but this is what it's like. I'm trying to boil this conversation down to make it more authentic. I don't want to sit here and show you what I want to try to bring down my own walls and share with you how I really feel. So when you ask me questions, I want to for myself to allow it to really answer you, to really bring it out. Because again, this is one of the only chances we have. I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again. We all die. We all end up in the same dirt. I am going to die soon. I really am. I wish I wouldn't, man. I'm having a lot of fun. I really am. I enjoy this life so much, but I'm going to go, bro. And so are you. And so what does that mean? That means that while we're here, we have to do something to elevate society. And the only part of us that will ever actually live on, the only part of us that is immortal, are the parts of us that we inject into society as a whole. The part of me that lives on is the part that lives on through you and future generations. If I'm able to do something that elevates society, something new that has never been done, and that thing continues, even gets built on by other people,
right,
then that part of me, that thing right there that I did, lives on, man. I am now immortal in that one way.
Yeah.
Not all of you, of course, but that thing goes
the most
on.
important part.
Yeah, maybe it's a product, maybe it's a life lesson. Who knows what it is? But that thing, that piece of information that got injected into the collective, that thing is the part that lives on forever. And that's all we really got, man.
Right, of course.
We can do it in other ways, too. Naturally, we humans do it through our children. And you are lucky enough to have how many kids?
4 kids. 4 kids, excuse me. Yeah, 4 kids. So yeah, we just welcomed our 4th child.
That is
So, yeah, I
amazing.
have 3 sons and a girl. I'm very, very blessed.
You really are.
Yeah, no, that's fatherhood is taught me more about life than anything there is.
Yeah.
It has taught me the real stakes in the game we're playing, if you will. So,
Yeah, I know. And it makes you look at things differently because now you're looking towards future gens.
entirely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone it's automatic to think about yourself and your life and the life that you're living. To think about the future and to think about your life when your life is done. To put
Yeah.
yourself in a place you will never be. That's what children can give you, and that's what the future thought can really conjure up inside of you.
I totally agree, man. And now with if you truly love your children, which I know you do, it's natural, completely natural to start thinking about that next gen and thinking about the future. And in doing that, I ask people to expand it even more and think about all of the next gen, not just our children,
Exactly.
but all
Every
of them.
generation.
Holy shit,
Right.
there's a lot of people out there.
Yeah.
I'm not really happy with the way society's been going, especially in recent years, honestly, you know?
I agree.
And I think one of the solutions, part of the solution, is our favorite plant.
Wholeheartedly.
Because when we smoke, we become more empathetic. And a lot of what we were talking about here, about making better products and making things, and secret success and all that, is all related to empathy. And that empathy, at least for me, is related to smoking, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the more I smoke, the more empathetic I get.
Right.
The more new ideas and thoughts and all these things just come out there, you know?
Creativity starts to blossom.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah, herb is for the soul, 100%.
Whereas if I drink, it shuts me down,
Makes
closes
you
me off.
angry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
different. Like nobody smokes and says, let's go get into a fight within
It's-
reason. You know what I mean?
fair
That's not the
enough.
way we
Yeah.
are. You
No,
know what I mean?
no, not at all.
It just opens us up. It can bring peace to us and maybe more peace to all of humanity. My hope is that a society that smokes more is hopefully a more empathetic society, which is a better society.
Absolutely.
Now I'm going to ask you, what's your next question, Jacob?
So my next question for you
Yeah.
veers a little bit off some of the importance of what we're talking about now, but just in a different way. I think sitting here, it's my responsibility to ask a question that I've seen asked quite a lot in the comment list, and it's a question I obviously share as well, but it's what and how did you overcome your biggest obstacle with Raw,
With Raw?
specifically?
Okay, so let's go back to obstacles overall. My biggest obstacle business-wise to success are the feds. But they're also the reason for my greatest success. You know what I mean?
Elaborate on that, please.
Sure. So in the 90s, the feds came after me because my store sold a bong to the daughter of the United States Customs Service special agent in charge for the Northern District of Florida, right? And he was pissed, came in, helmets on, guns, Josh pinned down, the whole thing, right? They were all pissed off, and that was the end of my stores. And I still got a couple felonies on my record that I still get made fun of, even though technically what I did back then, I don't think it's even a crime anymore. Doesn't matter. Still on my record. And when someone wants to pick on me, you're a felon, oh my God, awful guy. They don't want to tell you, but it's not a crime anymore what you got.
Yeah.
But okay.
Gosh, yeah, seriously, it's crazy.
So that kicked me out of my stores. I had stores, and I was really happy with my stores. I loved my stores. I never would have left them. I really, 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 really liked my stores. I had so many people coming in the door every day. I had so many fucking friends. When I was a little kid, right, I used to play with my toy cars. And I built a little town with some stuff I had from when I was really little, like leftover Fisher Price stuff, you know what I mean? And I had all these cars, and I would make these stories in my head of driving around in the car in the town, small town, and I was just, woo. Well, once I got to Gainesville, Florida, and set up my first little tiny store, that little fantasy of mine from when I was young kind of came to life, where everyone in the town knew me. I'd buzz around town on my Harley with my tassels blowing in the wind, and Josh, there's Josh, saying hi to everyone, and so many people knew me, and I knew so many people. Everywhere I went, hi Josh, hi Josh. It was great. I was really happy, you know? I don't think I would have changed. You know? Why would I have? I was so happy doing what I was doing.
Right.
Well, then when the feds came and kicked me out of my stores, well, that was the end of my shops, really.
You weren't able to operate after that?
No, not
Right,
really.
right.
I held on to one store for a little bit in Madison, Wisconsin, but that was really the end of my
These
shops.
were head shops, essentially?
Yeah, these
smoke
were head shops. You know what I mean? They were head shops. And when that happened, I thought it was the end of my life, right? You're indicted. You got to go through the whole process. You got to get fucking, I end up pleading to felonies. I thought at the time, there's a whole other story. I thought I was dying. It was awful. You know what I mean? It was fucking awful. But I'm so thankful that I went through that shit. I am so lucky that I went through that shit. So lucky. Because when one door closes, another one opens. In this case, it forced me to go into rolling papers more than ever before. It forced me to completely focus on it. I moved here to Arizona because I had to get out of the Bible Belt because they were not liking Josh. They were like, no, hell no. They were really not digging me. So I moved here. Now, at the time, people don't know this. Arizona was like, I guess, the paraphernalia capital of all of America. 96, 97.
Okay.
I know, it was a long time ago. You were born, right? You're probably born in 96, right?
92.
92, okay. So my story is my first story in 93. Yeah, so it's, I move out here for freedom, right? For more freedom. Because people out here were allowed to live more free than I was.
Definitely.
Came out here and set up my business really trading in rolling papers. And I started trading more and more with my European collectors and built up my whole business from that and allowed me to then start making my own brands and further and further and further and further and going deeper and deeper and deeper. I probably wouldn't have done that if the feds hadn't kicked my ass in 1996.
Right.
You know? Why would I have changed, dude? I was really happy.
Yeah, exactly. Things were going great.
Yeah. And I was taking up a lot of my time, too. Now I had nothing but time to focus on all this stuff, you know? So what seems like your darkest moment, what seems like the absolute end, and of course, naturally, this is natural for us humans. Back then, of course, I thought about killing myself and all that kind of shit. This is just what goes through our human brains. It's completely normal. But you don't realize what comes next.
Yeah, little did you know.
Dude, you think I knew that in 96?
Yeah, clearly, right.
No way, man.
Right.
Holy shit, I really thought it was the end. And it was the end of that life.
Of that chapter.
That was over. But you don't know what comes next. And what came next was a hell of a lot greater than what had come before. So, listen, I'm a stoner. I don't remember what your question was.
I love it. No, you answered it beautifully. It was your most difficult struggle and how you overcame it.
You overcame it by moving forward.
Right. Absolutely.
So the thing is, again, I got to stop for a moment because I'm telling my stories. And it isn't about that story of what happened to Josh. Oh, yeah, Josh did this. It isn't about that. It's about you. And when you go through this, when the proverbial feds kick in your door and come in and pin you down with a fucking machine gun, threatening to shoot your Great Dane because he's barking at them, right? And you're under indictment and you think you're dying and all this other shit's going on. Right. And you think it's the fucking end.
Mental feelings.
Oh my God, it sucks so badly. You know, when all that stuff is going on to you, accept it as a rebirth.
Right.
Please.
Start writing the new chapter.
It happens. Understand that it's very likely in your life, especially if you're an entrepreneur.
Right, doing this crazy journey.
And you're especially if you're in our community.
Right, double down.
You're going to have your Fed story, man. You're going to have these things that happen to you. You're going to have some awful fucking shit take your ass down to the ground. And that's okay. It's a roller coaster. You're coming along and it's going down, and it's picking up speed as it goes down, which makes it even worse. You know, You're going down, it's going down, and it feels like it's going to be the end. But the faster it goes down, the further it goes down, the higher it flies back up.
Right.
You have to hold on for the end of the ride. You're going to regret that shit, dude, because it goes back up. It goes back up. I lost some friends along the way. And I wish they were still around. I wish they had understood what comes next.
Right. I've waited through that.
Just
timeline.
wait, bro. Just wait. It gets better. It gets better.
With that being said, roughly, do you remember the timeline that it took from the starting of that new chapter until you really started to finally feel like, okay, this is starting? Maybe not, and it reached a crazy amount of success, but when you first started getting that train of thought of, wow, this is going to start working for me, or this is starting to work for me.
It's like this. I don't remember exactly how, because trauma keeps us all held back. And I was much more successful than I even realized along the way. Like things had turned and you don't even realize it.
Right.
And that's the way we are. That's the way we are, man. It's just natural for us. So it wasn't until much later. The moments when I realized that things were really, really, really turned around was when, like, the brand started to take off, and I started to see people smoking my stuff, walking down the block.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You know what I mean? That's when I noticed that, like, oh my God, it's a whole nother level here. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's I had no idea it was ever going to get like that. Never.
Look at you now.
Yeah, I know. And it's amazing. And some part of me, a large part of me, doesn't even accept that it's like the way it actually is.
Right.
I can't quite accept it because it's beyond my wildest. You know? There are people out there that are probably, some of them might be able to accept it better than me. Like when people ask me how many booklets we sell a year, I don't know the answer. I had to let go of things like that because I was unable to process them.
Was it too much for you when you tried to keep track of it?
Yeah, it's like, oh my God. Because you have dreams, and when something blows your dreams out of the water and it's a trillion times beyond your dreams.
What's next?
You're just like, okay. But also it feels so surreal that I just kind of let go and smile and giggle.
I was just going to ask, does that kind of allow you to almost let go in a sense?
It really does. You just kind of stop paying attention to certain things.
Right.
And it drives some people crazy that I don't know a lot of the stuff. But it's I needed to let go. So listen. Inevitably, Jacob, you're going to be taken down. Some awful stuff's going to go down. This is the way it always is. Two things I want you to recognize. One is, when it happens, it's not happening to you. Okay? It's just happening. There's a big difference there. If you think it's happening to you, you accept it as, why is this happening to me? Oh my God, what did I do wrong? Okay. We're brought into this weird biblical sense of God is punishing me.
A little bit of a selfishness to it.
Not even called selfishness. It's just we're brought into this space because we've all read these books.
Right.
One way or another. They've been injected
100%.
into us, you know what I mean? In society. So you feel like you're being punished in a way when these things happen. Why does bad things keep happening to me? Right. We do this naturally. What I'm asking you to do is to understand when these things happen, that they are happening. They're not happening to you. They happen. They will happen. It's basically inevitable. So that when it comes down and when the hammer of Thor drops upon your head, you know that the hammer of Thor was going to drop upon your head. So you weren't like feeling like, why me? It's just like, oh yeah, they told me that was going to happen.
Right.
Damn, it happened. Okay, what do I do now?
Keep writing the next chapter.
Keep going forward, man.
Right.
Keep going forward. It's a matter of like, don't think of yourself as a victim. Don't think of yourself as this thing's happened to me. You know? Just be prepared for it. Understand that it happened. And be ready to move forward. Look for the next opportunity. Look for what the next thing is.
As you start running into these opportunities and they start inclining and you start shifting and writing your new chapter, a question I would have for you, specifically with you in your journey, would be, how can we ensure that technological advancements and economic growth contribute to human flourishing rather than exasperating social problems?
Okay, this is a really tough one. Technological, let's start with that, because that's something that really scares me. AI can truly benefit our society if it remains independent. I'll give you an example. Let's say I'm having some health concerns and these are my symptoms. If I go to a doctor, now I'm only getting the knowledge from that one doctor's head.
Okay.
Right? One human brain, his knowledge, his experience, what he remembers, and he diagnoses me and gives me information. If I type those same symptoms into ChatGPT in detail, now we're getting the collective human consciousness telling me what's wrong with me based on all these things that have happened. And I believe in time, the diagnosis of AI will be a greater chance of, it'll be more accurate than that one human brain that's diagnosing me.
Okay.
Because there's a greater breadth of knowledge.
That makes
All
sense.
of human society is captured within this AI thing. And here's what happened to you, Josh. Here's what you're probably experiencing. And here is probably the solution based on everything we got. The difficulty is, who controls AI, man? Because if United Healthcare gets a hold of it, I'm not telling you that that's wrong with you.
Exactly.
No, wait, that's going to cost me. You know how much the you know how much the treatment is for that? No. He has nothing. There's nothing. This is totally normal.
Right.
Totally normal. You got nothing. Nope. Everything's fine. And that's the difficulty. How do we keep AI independent? How do we keep it out of the hands of corporations? How do we make it not for profit? How do we put in legislation that AI must be independent and not for profit and truly only for the benefit of mankind? How do we legislate that when our legislature is for sale?
Right, exactly.
And that's the difficulty. So how do we do it? I don't know, but it scares the shit out of me because once United Healthcare gets a hold of it, I know it's not giving me the answer.
Right, it's not giving you an accurate
no
analysis.
way,
that's
man.
for
It
sure.
can't because it's going to give me an answer based on
It's green paper.
if I give you that, if I answer this. I mean, you've seen Elon trying to control his AI.
Right.
And look what it turned into. I can't type. We use Grok. No way, man.
Yeah, it's insane.
So how do we do it? In this case, I have more questions than answers. I just know what the real solution is. I don't know how we get there. The solution is non-government, non-corporate, has to be like completely independent, and for the betterment of mankind. That's the solution. It can't be for profit. We're all doomed if it is, man.
Right.
Because then next thing you know, no, you don't have cancer. You need to buy this supplement from Amazon.com.
Yeah. Crazy.
You know, like, no. So that answers your technological. What was the other part of your question?
Other was how does it contribute to human flourishing rather than exasperating social problems?
No, but I will give one. I do want to give one important answer to that. I think the solution is similar to Bitcoin in that we need a decentralized AI, one that is controlled by us, the people. If we have a truly independent, fair AI that is ours,
Right.
then I think that contributes to our success, that contributes to economic growth, and we all benefit from it. I think we need to keep AI out of the hands of the multi-gazillionaires because that's going to be for their benefit, and they are going to do something so that Bezos can get another 500-foot
I
yacht.
was going to say, they're going to keep doing what they're doing.
Yeah, and in order to have a 500-foot yacht, that means think about how much you have to take from society to have a 500-foot yacht,
Right.
you know, or a 1,000-foot
Unreal.
yacht, or you're taking a lot from society to fund that, and
There's a lot of misdiagnoses to get that.
yeah, that's tough, man. That's not going to work.
No.
I wish it would.
So in that case, what advice would you give to future generations of leaders regarding the responsible creation and utilization of their wealth?
Wow. Ask it again. I want to hear this again.
What advice would you give to future generations of leaders regarding the responsible creation and use of their wealth?
I really believe that the more successful you become, the more of a responsibility you have to society as a whole. You have to give back. And you got to give back in a meaningful way, not to some hockey team. It's got to be to something that actually benefits society as a whole. The purpose of taxes and things like that were supposed to be to take money from people who made a lot and use it to fund social programs for the benefit of our community. Well, that's not really working out.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't know how we get there. I just know that the more money you make, the more responsibility I believe you have to give back, and give back in a meaningful way that actually helps people, not giving back in a way that helps you.
Right.
There's a big difference there.
Of course.
I've talked to some incredible people, even like Bryan Adams, an 80s rock musician. And the most meaningful stuff he had ever done, he told me, were things that helped his local community. And I disagree with him on that because it shouldn't be about the things that are meaningful to me when I'm giving back. It should be even more about the actual impact of what we're doing.
What's being left behind.
So like when I started giving back, I found that I did this awful calculation called a CPO, which is a cost per life. And I realized that I could save a life in Ethiopia for roughly $100, where I couldn't save a life in America for even $1,000. So I started concentrating on doing work in places like Ethiopia, where I could save more lives. And then I found that, yes, it created a situation where I forgot one key thing, in that I wasn't giving back to the people that had helped make me.
In your community.
In my community.
Right.
So there's a balance. I realized that I was completely out of balance. I was taking from our community and I was giving it over here. And I realized you have to balance that. You have to give over here, yes, of course, but you also have to give back to the very people that made you. And then I started switching gears a little bit. Started doing lots of funding of trying to help people like through Last Prisoner Project and the Weldon Project and things like that.
That's amazing.
And realizing that there were a lot of people who had been through what I had been through, but they weren't as lucky as I got.
Right. They're still stuck trying to write that next chapter.
They're still in prison, man.
Exactly.
So I got to get them out. I got to try to get them out. I got to try to help them. And that's a balance that I've learned to try now to achieve. A big lesson I learned there. Big lesson. So that lesson, though, of giving back in a meaningful way is something that needs to be propagated onto successful people. I feel like in the 80s, those rockers would go up there and they would do these huge concerts called like Live Aid.
The AIDS and stuff.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And they were raising money like crazy for these things. And that was like part of being a rock star, was giving back.
Right.
And that went away. And that's not okay.
Yeah, no, that is crazy. That's a good observation for sure.
Like,
when was the last Live Aid concert? In the 80s?
God, 80s.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was 80s. And now Mr. Beast did some really great things giving back. You know, mad props to Mr. Beast. And he gets picked on for it.
Yeah.
And when you get picked on for it, and I know this firsthand, when you get picked on for what you gave back, it makes you not want to do it.
Well, it does make me want to ask that question, especially in this industry that is so loud and is so full of opinions. And, you know, how do you maintain that drive to always want to do it? How do you shut that noise out and not gain an insecurity or lose your confidence on that journey with that?
And two things. One, when it comes to giving back, I try to stop listening to them and I think very carefully about the people that we're helping. I try to put them into my head, right? Just focus on them.
Right.
And if you focus on them, all that noise goes away. That's one thing. But there's something about our community that's a little special in that I feel like we pick on each other more than most. All communities pick on each other, but I feel like we do it differently. There's a thing that I love to just laugh to myself about is like if I do a rolling tutorial video, dude, I don't care how well I pearl it. It don't matter. I'm going to get that comment of some dude with his baseball hat on backwards is going to tell me how his aunt has one arm, she's blind, you know what I mean? She's 90 years old, and she can outroll me. I don't know how to roll. My God, bro. Right. My ash will never be white enough for that person either. Right. I get it. I understand. And they need to tell me it. They need to tell me that I suck. I know, bro. I know that I suck. I get it. I know. But I'm still going to teach that rolling tutorial anyway. And I know my ash isn't light enough for you. I know. But if the Sisters of the Valley bless me with something, and they've grown it, and they sat in a circle blessing the material as it came off, and as they cured it, and they put their hearts and souls into it, they send it to me, I am going to smoke it. Right. I don't care if it's a light ash. I don't care if it's a dark ash. I'm going to smoke it. I'm going to enjoy it. And I'm going to be thankful for it. And the dude with the baseball hat on backwards, I'm sorry, man. You haven't lived the life that I've lived. You don't understand.
Right.
There's a gratefulness that comes with every puff. No matter where I get it from, I'm still grateful for that puff, man. Because sometimes getting that puff was quite tough.
Yes, absolutely. Sometimes you had to wait all day for it. So.
Oh, man. Oh, God. So, yeah, man.
So, kind of to continue on this, what ultimately drives you to continue building and leading even after you've reached this success?
It's very simple. and it's the answer to a lot of people's questions. I love what I do. If I wasn't getting paid for this, I would still do it. If you and everyone can look me in the face and tell me what you're doing for a living, if I stop paying you, if you stop getting paid, would you still do that? If your answer isn't yes, it's time to maybe switch what you're doing, man. Yeah.
Especially because I feel with most entrepreneurs, you quite contrarily have to pay to exist. You have to actually pay to keep going. Not receive any money, but actually pay to continue.
Yeah. And allow... Okay, and we got to bring it back. We got to bring it back, man. If we accept, and I wish we all would, the philosophy of Marcus Aurelius, that we are all here for each other. We are here to serve each other. Then the act of serving you, the fact that I have uplifted you, should be enough. Right. This thing of getting paid for it is a bonus. That's just part of this society that we're in right now.
Exactly.
But the fact that I elevated you, man, the fact that I helped you, the fact that I was able to do a podcast with you and build this cool fucking room with all these things on the wall. Awesome. You know what I mean? Actually, I even paused smoking because I'm talking so much. By the way, you don't even notice we have to hide our smoke behind these weird little things. The fact that we do it anyway, that is because of, I hopefully can say this, our beliefs in elevating our fellow human beings.
Oh, absolutely.
When we elevate our fellow human beings, we elevate society as a whole, and then, of course, we are uplifted too. A rising tide lifts all ships and all that kind of thing. But our job as a human being is to contribute to society. And if we get paid for that contribution, that's awesome, man. If you are lucky enough to get paid to do something that you would do for free anyway, well, that's one hell of a life, ain't it?
It's a bonus. Yeah,
it's one hell of a life, man. Because serving others, I mean, that's a huge measure of success.
Absolutely.
So let me ask you a question. Are you innovative in what you do?
Yeah, that tries to be our main focus. Absolutely.
Give me one example, something that you don't mind sharing. It's important that you don't mind sharing because the whole world's going to hear it.
Well, I have to preface it by saying that Arizona is always a little bit late to the party. So I always have to learn from my colleagues and communities on the outside. So it's almost impossible to bring anything necessarily brand new from that perspective. But when it comes to the market in Arizona, everything's new. We were the first people to do the donut in mass, first people to ever offer that. That was our innovative approach to the infused pre-roll that does so well in this state. But we wanted to give it a little bit of a better representation, things along that line. We also try to take the extra step when it comes to our terpene preservation, our packaging, our materials, all those things is what we try to utilize.
So let me ask you a question. In what you do, and don't share it. It's important you don't share it right now. Is there some way something you've learned, some way of processing or making your product that you think is probably incredibly special and has not been done before, and it is unique to you?
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, because of that, okay, because I could tell you're an innovator, you're an entrepreneur. Because of that, I have to give you the corporate reality check.
I need it.
Now, because you are innovative, no matter what, the overwhelming odds is two things are going to happen. It's going to start like this. First, they will try to buy you, right? And now, because you love what you do you love what you do?
Absolutely.
Okay, so you're going to say no, right?
Yep.
Okay, now because you said no, you think they're just going to go away and tuck their tail?
Definitely not.
No, right. So now they're going to find a way. They might either simply replicate you, whatever your brand is. There might be a name very similar to yours that they'll use. If that doesn't work to take you out and give them the market share that they want, the next thing that they are going to do is they are probably going to sue you, bro. This is corporate America. This is what they do.
Right.
An example would be, let's say there's a warning we have to have here in Arizona. It has to be a minimum of 8-point font, right? And then when it got shrink wrapped, because we use shrinks often, well, you didn't realize this, but it got shrunk a little bit. Now it's 7.95 font. Okay, so now I'm awful big corporate America.
Right.
And all I care about, because I'm a nameless, faceless corporation, is profit. My sole driving force is making profit. I do not have a soul. I am not a human being. I'm only focused on making money. That is what a corporation is. And you have the money, and I want to take it from you. I will do anything to get it from you within the scope of the law.
Right.
Including suing you. saying that you improperly warned people, including children. You did not have proper warnings on your product. It's supposed to be 8-point font. It's 7.95, isn't it? You didn't warn, did you, Jacob? You're a terrible person. You didn't properly warn. Right. And then finally, when you have to admit, yes, it was supposed to be 8-point font. It's 7.95. You're thinking how silly this is, right? Oh no, bro. You weren't ready for part 2. You admitted it. I can now go on press and spend a lot of money on press to say, Jacob admitted that he failed to warn children properly about his product. Jacob, oh my God, did you know that about Jacob? We need to get articles put in every place you can imagine so that everyone reads about how Jacob failed to warn children about his product because his font was 7.95 when it should have been 8. When humans are not going to hear about the actual truth, what happened, they're just going to hear this weird little thing here. And I get to win now because I get to take the market share from you. You feel broken. You feel downtrodden. You feel very sad. The odds of you selling to me, giant corporate America, is much greater now.
Right.
In which case I win, don't I? And all I care about is money. That is what you're probably going to go through, man. In addition, you have to keep in mind, and you have to be ready for it. So when this happens, by the way, expect it. That's what this is about. This is about me giving you a warning so that when it occurs, you're not thinking, I can't believe this is happening to me. You would go back to the way we've talked about earlier.
It's just happening.
It's just happening. I was told this is going to happen, and it's freaking happening. I can't believe it. I can't believe Josh was right. How would he know? Because this isn't about me, and this isn't about you. This is about what commonly takes place with corporations in America. This is about the evils of corporations. When you have a nameless, faceless corporation that's solely driven by making profit, it will do whatever it has to do to make profit, including rejecting your health insurance claim. Of course, man, that's going to cost me money. No way. My job is to make money. And paying out for your health insurance claim, that takes money away from me. So nope. The answer is no. I'm going to develop an AI that says no. We're going to call it the no. That's the name of our new AI here. Yeah. Big corporate healthcare. The lesson here is be ready for it. Understand that it happens, so when it occurs, you recognize it. Understand exactly what their playbook that they're running through. It's a gauntlet, as I put it. And if you survive the gauntlet, if you make it through all the challenges and all of their litigation and all of the attacks and everything that they do to you, and you survive it, at the end of all of that, Jacob, you have your freedom. You're still here. You're strong as can be. You're stronger than ever before. And now at the end of that, you have proven yourself, haven't you, man?
Right, for sure.
You could stay independent the rest of your life.
Right.
And that's the way it is. So as you're going through this, see it as a giant challenge.
Just fight it.
And even if you lose a few battles along the way, and you probably will.
For sure. Already have.
Yeah. At the end, when it's all said and done, you're still standing. You're still independent. You didn't sell out to them, did you?
Right, no.
You still got it, man. And you march forward and wait for the next door to open. And that's the way it's going to be. Now, the other people that are going to hate you because you're in the cannabis business, cannabis has cost certain large mega corporations trillions of dollars. Trillions. Healthcare, big pharma hates us. Right? Big alcohol, they hate us. Big tobacco, they hate us, man. Even I'm told weapons companies don't like us because we supposedly, allegedly, shoot each other less, buy less guns when we're smoking, right? We spell less ammo. Bummer.
Yeah, right. Shame.
So all of these large, extremely wealthy forces are out there despising us and trying to find ways to bring it back to 1990, bring it back to 2000. They want pre-legalization.
Right.
Their profits for alcohol were so much greater back then, man. Oh my God, the pharma, you know how much money you're costing the pharma corporations, Jacob? Do you have any idea how much you cost big pharma? Do you know? I bet you it was a lot, man. And what if they looked at it as every joint that you sell costs them $5? What if they looked at it like that? Then now they're looking at you of how much money you're costing them, aren't they? How far do you think they're going to go to stop you?
Anything.
Remember, nameless, faceless, soulless.
Of course.
Only driven by profit. How far will they go to stop you?
Yeah, they won't stop till they get it.
Right. And now we'll do media manipulation. We can plant stories in the Wall Street Journal, in anywhere you can imagine, New York Times, about how your product is causing people to have heart attacks. We can do anything we want, dude. We are trillionaires. We can really manipulate. We can manipulate data. We can say, like, people who smoke pot have a much greater chance of having heart attacks than the general population.
Exactly.
Not making it clear that the general population includes children, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Babies.
Yeah.
You know, like, wait, this isn't fair here, man.
Yeah.
You know, wait.
What's the standard?
Wait. But the article only says this.
Right. The headline only says half of that.
It doesn't explain. What about alcohol drinkers? Can we compare them to people who consume alcohol? Wait, can we do that? No. We're not doing that. That's not going to help us. So who's going to stand up and tell them to stop? Who's going to stand up and give the real information? Who's going to stand up for Jacob and our whole community? In my experience, there's very few of us left. You got High Times, which is one of the reasons we rescued it. You've got people like Beard Bros and some incredible publications.
Absolutely, yeah. Much love to the Beard Bros.
Yeah, and some other incredible publications out there that truly stand up for the plant and for the truth.
Right.
But the lesson here is simply that the more successful you are, Jacob, if you disrupt an industry, whatever industry that is, you are going to face pressure from inside that industry and also outside the industry. And that pressure will be directed at you, and it will come at you in ways you don't necessarily expect. And it's up to you to survive that gauntlet, whatever it is. And once you have survived that gauntlet, and you will be tested like you cannot imagine. And as you are being tested, you will want to give up. You will consider selling it. You're going to have those thoughts because you're human.
Right.
You're going to feel it, man. You're going to feel like, fuck it, throw in the towel. This ain't worth it. That's exactly what they want you to feel, Jacob.
Exactly.
That's exactly the reaction they're trying to provoke. So now sell to me. Yes. Sell to me for cheap, Jacob. But no, you're not going to do it. You're going to hold on. You got to hold on. Make it to the end of the damn ride, man. Because now at the end of that, you've got your freedom. And now you are a strong motherfucker, dude. Now you are a true beacon of our community and our society. You made it. You didn't sell out. You didn't give up. You made it to the end.
Right.
And that is who I want as a friend.
So do you believe the entrepreneur who never quits will be successful?
If that entrepreneur is learning lessons along the way, you've got to learn from your mistakes. I have learned more from my mistakes than all of my successes combined. I wish I could learn from... Dude, if I could just only learn from my successes, if I could just do that.
Yeah.
But instead, I learn from where I got it wrong. Every product I make, I look at it and reevaluate it and wish I had done this. I wish I had done that. You've got to learn from your mistakes. Even better, if you can learn from my mistakes, well, that's a whole nother level, dude. Whew. Because now you didn't have to do it. Oh, please learn from mine, because it's so much easier for you if you just learn from mine. And I got so many. I've learned more from my mistakes than anything else. And learn from your experiences. Learn from other people's experiences.
Observe.
There's some saying there. Do you know it? That thing about a wise man versus a smart man? A smart man learns from his mistakes. A wise man learns from the mistakes of others. That is incredibly true. So I ask everyone, learn from my mistakes. Look at anything wrong that you think I've done and don't do it. Right. I can make you a list of Josh's mistakes. That would be a book. And and my mistakes are not important in other than for you to learn from them so that you don't repeat what I did. And it isn't just me. It's about all of us.
Right. I'll add to the book.
Yeah. Think about it, man. Okay, it wouldn't have been that long ago. Where you and I were part of a tribe. And Jack Herrer taught me this stuff.
I love that.
He was awesome. So we were sitting around the campfire 100,000 years ago, whatever it is, throwing hemp onto the fire, right?
Yep.
Because when we were hunter-gatherers, that's what we were gathering. So cutting it down, we were gathering hemp seeds. Jack would tell me that the spread of humanity followed the spread of hemp from the Rift Valley in Ethiopia up into Europe and into Asia and places like that, because that is what we were gathering, right? So now you're burning the hemp in the campfire, and we're getting high from it because it's not like 0.3% hemp. It's probably a higher percent hemp. You know, it's cannabis. Yeah. It's all plant. So we're throwing that. We're ingesting the smoke on the campfire. We're taking it in. We're sharing stories. We're passing down knowledge. Even before we had written, we had spoken. and we would pass knowledge from one generation to the other, sitting around while ingesting smoke. This podcast, as we sit here ingesting smoke,
ingesting smoke,
hiding the ingesting smoke, this should be ideally similar to that. If I can pass knowledge down to you, then you pass knowledge down, and so on and so on and so on. We sit around that campfire. Now we're sitting around the campfire together. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Tell me a couple mistakes that you have made that you want everyone to learn from.
Well, I think my biggest mistake early on in my career was trying to go too fast. I think that was a very common mistake I made, was trying to go too fast, trying to go a little too much. It really took a lot of mistakes from my end to learn the value in slowing down.
Yeah.
Taking a second to let that hit soak in, dust your shoes off and get back into it.
Let it soak in, yeah.
No pun intended. But that was one of my initial mistakes. Funny enough, when it comes to a hash making mistake, have to give it out to my hash makers. Obviously not a very difficult one to learn early on, but test wash your material. I would say one of my most costly mistakes was I got really, really excited about a particular terpene early on in my career. Before I was doing test washes, I bought too much. Figured out on the first wash it did not return.
Oh.
And that was just a costly mistake that, oddly enough, I still hear about the terps to this day.
Really?
It was a crunch berries. Every time someone's like, "You remember that crunch berries?" I'm just like, "More."
I like crunch berries.
Yeah.
Oh, man. What year was that?
That was about 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago.
Okay. Wow. I feel like crunchberry. Yeah, doesn't matter. I feel like crunchberry is a little bit older than that for me.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
That was just one of the ones that we had going around at the time, and I smelt it. I could not think straight, couldn't test it, couldn't do anything that was smart, and I just had to get it in the bucket and figured out a little bit too late. So.
Okay, I'll give you examples of mistakes that I've made. I'll give you one recently because I corrected it. It took me a long time to correct it. I didn't put enough effort into my first cone rolling machine, the OG raw cone roller. I really didn't, because it had already been developed by other people before me, right? And so when I saw cone rollers, I was working with this amazing cone factory I was working with this amazing rolling machine making factory in Indonesia, and I really love this rolling machine factory. They make better rolling machines, as far as I'm concerned, than anyone else. I've been working with them for a long time. They used to have a whole bunch of customers, and I remember the guy telling me that a lot of his customers left and went to China, but I never left because I really loved the quality of this guy, and we could really work together. I felt like he really knew what he was doing. You know, he was really into it, and he had a cone roller already. So I was proud to put my name on that cone roller, change it just a little bit, and put it into the marketplace. I didn't keep working with it. I didn't keep adjusting it. I didn't make it better over all the years. And finally, last year, I went to go shoot a video on it, and I was rolling with it and realized, this sucks, man. This is nowhere near as good as it should be. And I was really upset.
I bet. I
realized that I hadn't given it enough energy. I hadn't looked at this device, in 6 years or so. You know, I hadn't really looked at it, and just, I could have made it better for that whole time. And so I sat down and realized my mistake and decided to put a bunch of time into it. And we did. And I got everybody involved. And I was screaming at everyone, "We blew it! How many of these things did we sell where it didn't make a really, really good cone? It could have done so much better if I just would have put in the effort. Why didn't I do it? Why did I miss it?" And we did it. We put in the effort, and we made it better, and now we freaking launch it. That should have been 6 years ago. I should have gone into this 6 years ago like with my whole heart. I should have really dug in and made it better than it should have been. I shouldn't have just let my name be put on something that I didn't spend enough time to really perfect. That's where I fucked up. Also in the beginning, you know where I used to fuck up a lot? I would do a lot of also rans when I didn't know what I was doing in like the 90s and the early 2000s.
Right.
I would do these also rans. And also ran is, okay, I put out this product. Someone else puts out one that's just like it, but he makes it cheaper. Or just happens to look like it. Just trying to go after the same exact market without really benefiting. Oh, I did some of those. And they didn't go anywhere. They didn't succeed. Surprise. So also rans in my early days were some of my bigger mistakes that I've made. Really. I wish I didn't have to learn like that.
Right. It's so much easier to learn from your mistakes, though, like you said, than it is your successes.
It's not easier. Sometimes it's really painful and really expensive. Sometimes I think people are going to like something, and I'm totally wrong. I made shirts with pockets on the side, like a hidden stash pocket, and I thought it was the coolest thing. And some people also thought it was the coolest thing.
Right.
But a lot of people hated it and told me that it made them look like they had a pouch going on their side, and they hated it, and they were mad at me. And I was like, damn it, I didn't think about that, you know?
Right.
Fuck, I should have done it differently. I didn't consider that one aspect of it. I thought it was cool, but they didn't. Like some people did,
Right.
but some people didn't. And my goal is to make everybody happy. There's been a lot of mistakes like that along the way. Anytime when I don't really put enough effort into something, that's when I feel like I've made the biggest mistake. You know?
Yeah. One was is the rolling machine the very last time you felt like
Well, that's
that
the most recent
happened?
one because I just finally solved that one where
Right, that's cool.
now I finally just relaunched it. And I'm like, it works. You know, the old one worked, but it didn't work as well as it should have. That's the point. When I fuck up, when a product is wrong, it's one thing people think they want to work with me, but they don't. They really don't, because I'll put a lot of pressure on you, Jacob. If we're working together and something goes wrong, right? If let's say that lighter there didn't come out quite right, there's something wrong with it. Let's say the adjuster doesn't work; it can't really move the flame, or the flame's too low. And then it's out there and I realize what happened. I'm not sitting there telling you that I'm not saying you're a bad person or anything like that, but I'm literally leaning on you saying,
Exactly.
you failed your job as a human being. Our community was counting on you to make a better lighter. Timmy, I call him Timmy, this guy in Idaho, this proverbial person I think of, this imaginary person, he was counting on you. He saved up $5 to buy that lighter, and he bought the lighter. And dude, I got to tell you, it sucked.
Yeah.
You know, you let Timmy
too low.
down. He thinks now that we're just like everyone else, just trying to take his money. You totally blew it for Timmy. You had one job to do as a human being, Jacob. And why did you get it wrong? You let Timmy down. You know how many people you hurt with that, Jacob? Do you know how many people you let down, disappointed, didn't uplift when we could have? Do you know how many? It was so many, Jacob. So many. And then that pressure is now put on you, which is a lot. It's a lot. I get it. But it's how I actually feel.
Right. Absolutely.
You know?
It should be applied as such.
It is. So it's hard working with me. People think they want to work with me. You don't. You really don't. It's really hard on everyone who works with me because there's a lot of pressure because of that belief. And the cool thing is, yeah, of course, when it motivates us to do better. It
Right.
motivates us to like, oh my God, we need to do better. Oh
Yeah,
my
the
God,
shared
we need to do better.
belief can continue to
We
push
need to do
each
better.
other.
Yeah, we need to do better. Oh my God. What do you mean this happened? No, no, nothing can be wrong. They're counting on us, guys, you know? And I feel like for us, within my organizations or my friends' my family's organizations, there's more pressure on individual people to come through than most other organizations. If someone makes a mistake, if the art is wrong on something, it's a bigger deal than most other places you might work.
I agree. No,
You know?
and you get held a lot more
Higher
accountable
standard. Oh, yeah,
from
yeah, yeah.
sometimes people who aren't even involved.
Right? Yeah, I know.
you know?
Yeah, I know. But it's also truly like, it's this belief that we have in what our job is
Right.
as a human being.
100%.
So yeah, it's a lot of pressure. It really is. But it also enables us it motivates us to do better. So I want to talk to you more about that. Okay. What motivates you? What motivates you?
Well, for me, being a family man, you know, again, I try to look towards not just my own generation, but my family's ahead of mine. Success motivates me, and not just a financial success, not a materialistic success, but a success where I can take care of my family once I'm gone. Give a comfort to my family and the members in it for them to be able to unlock their creativity and not have to be dependent on the society norms and
Yeah.
the way that it's such a struggle between playing the game and trying to be a dreamer, you know. So for me, my dreams are my biggest motivation. My desire to always be better, to always put in the most effort, that's my constant motivation that keeps me on that long-term path of comfort and success. Because for me, success is comfort. That's all I strive for.
Yeah,
I'm not looking
just
for any
comfort.
material. I'm looking for a piece of life, a way to where it can just fade away.
Okay. Now, what if I told you they don't want you to be comfortable?
Well, in that same respect, I'm okay with not being comfortable myself. I'm not doing this for me. It's just for my other members of my family.
Yeah.
I'm okay if I'm not comfortable forever. I foresee that being the case because I am always chasing the next thing. I am always trying to build something more. So I always tell everyone, if you see anyone, I tell anyone, if you see me comfortable, there's a problem. That's not going to happen. But for me, I still know what I need to do to create comfort for others, even if that's just a simple stability that they don't acknowledge as a comfort in the time.
Okay, now hear me out on this. In the past couple generations, right, we have allowed, because of large mega corporations, now real estate is almost unattainable for most people, right? Healthcare costs a ridiculous amount of money, much more than it really ever should.
For sure.
And now food is also starting to cost more than it really ever should.
Absolutely.
We are putting our society, our members of society, in a situation where they have to fight to achieve comfort. They are forced. You can't afford to buy your home anymore. Now you have to rent from Blackstone.
Exactly.
Sorry, man.
Exactly.
That's your only option nowadays.
Gotta
As it gets further down, you got to rent from Blackstone. That's what you're going to do. You have to get United Healthcare, and they're not going to pay for certain things. And you have 4 kids. 4 kids. When they reject your claims, which they will do, because we're humans, we get sick.
course.
This is what we always get sick to. We're humans.
Especially with all those kids.
Yes. And they're going to reject the claims, and you get mounted up with thousands of dollars in debt. Right? This is what they're going to do to you. They always do. And you have to pay to eat and everything else. What the hell happened, man? What the hell happened? It's illegal to be homeless. So you have to now participate. Is there some kind of weird conspiracy thing happening that's, oh no, we're just motivating everyone to work by making it where they can never achieve comfort?
Exactly. I think that a lot of people are forced to have that life, essentially, of always chasing, of always participating, never finding that true comfort. And I want to specify that my comfort and what I'm searching for doesn't solely come from a monetary comfort. Specifically, when it comes to real estate, I want to buy land for my family. When it comes to living, I want to live intergenerationally with my family. I'm actually trying to revert and go back to the homestead way of life.
Yeah.
Right now, about my family, we're about 60 to 70% regenerative.
Oh, wow.
We do. We try to farm our own food. We try to grow our own vegetables. So I'm trying to instill those lessons and those ideals into my children so they can continue to create that comfort, even if that fake green money is never even involved. I just know that it's my job as the leader of my family and my tribe to take on that ballad of the non-comfortable life, to play the game, to participate, to get that fake green paper, to then let them hopefully not have to do that, even though I secretly love doing it the whole time.
So let me ask you a question. Do you think it's the case that the reason why it's become so hard to live and becoming harder and harder, is it some weird conspiracy to motivate us to make us work for large corporations in every which way? Or is it the case that too much of our societal wealth is being peeled away and given to Bezos and those types of people?
I think it's definitely an unfortunate balance of both. It's hard to talk about conspiracies because some of them are quite literally not conspiracies.
They're just
There's
happening.
evidence.
Yeah.
It's just the things that happen. While some people, like similar to our conversation earlier with the headlines, they may make something simple into a conspiracy. So, I mean, if you look at my wife's an educator. If you look at the basic fundamentals of how our curriculum has been created since the Rockefellers took it over, that's not a conspiracy to say our 8-hour work shift school day creates workers. It's funny. I at one point talked about homeschooling my children, and I remember one of my family members just saying, "Oh, well, like they're not going to get a job. They're not going to," and they kept saying job, work, job.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
yeah.
stopped them and I said, "Hey, is school meant to educate, or is it meant to create workers for their next job?" So that is obviously its own conversation, but right there, I think that fundamentally the participation we have to indulge in, unfortunately, is not a conspiracy. The problems are it's not based on growth, human connection, inputs into society.
No.
It's based on monetary value, what you can bring to someone, what you owe someone. I mean, look at what BlackRock's doing. You tell anyone what they're doing, that seems like a crazy conspiracy.
It does.
Then you just kind of break it down and realize, oh, that's why your grandma could afford her now $2 million house back in the 80s for
$8,000.
Yeah, for right, for $8,000 and a $600 mortgage. You know, so obviously inflation takes a part to place there. But
No, it's not enough.
It's not even
not
remotely close. It's just a word people like to throw out to feel better. So, you know, at the end of the day, no, I do not think that it's a conspiracy. I think there's always room for that dreamer to break that mold.
Okay. Now that is what what I so want to talk about. I believe that entrepreneurship breaks all of that. They are trying, I believe, to force us into this mold of working for renting from Blackstone,
100%.
working at Amazon, and then you get your health care from United Healthcare. Here's your format, buddy. This is your life. Go do it. I think that's what they're trying to do. And the thing that fucks their shit up more than anything is that thing inside of you, that brain. AI is going to be amazing, but it can still never be as amazing as an actual human brain.
Right.
Because of the creativity that we have, because we are actually alive. It'll never be alive.
100%.
So if we can use our brains for entrepreneurship is something that breaks all of that mold. That's the one thing that these huge mega corporations will always fail at, because they are soulless.
Yeah,
they are lifeless, whereas you are not. You have the ability to outthink them, to come up with a new path, something completely different than what's been done before, creating a new product, a new method, a new way, something that changes, something that actually, rather than taking from society, as Blackstone does, it gives to society. It helps people. It helps your fellow human being, which is the reason why we're here.
100%.
So I truly believe in entrepreneurship within our current system. It's all we got. It's one system.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
We can only do that. But I do agree, though. I do agree.
They don't want you to work for yourself, bro.
No,
Sorry to interrupt.
No. That's exactly what I was going to say. Is that's not my motive, but to go back to that is my constant driving force. And what I'm most proud of currently, before I've reached that success, is that I don't have to live the way they want me to live. Even if sometimes and most times that's actually much more of a struggle, because I don't get that given complacency. I don't get those guarantees. I don't get these things.
The guarantee is not a guarantee. It's bullshit. It's a fake guarantee.
No, it is, exactly, because the 14th day may never happen. You know, and then your PTO may never come.
No.
So for me, I find myself very blessed that I, in my own mind, created a path in my life where I can serve my humanity while taking care of my own self in a way that I think needs to be done. I'm not limited. I'm not hindered. My big mantra going into entrepreneurship was follow your dreams or you will just follow someone else's.
Oh, that's fucking beautiful. Say it again one more time, because that's beautiful.
Follow your dreams or you will just end up following someone else's. And
Yeah.
that's my biggest pride point right now. I try not to have too much pride, admittedly, but that's what I'm most proud of, is that I get to live by my own dreams. I get to chase my own dreams. When things don't go wrong, I don't have to hear from my manager on how I don't have to let it trickle down to me and deal with all this simple kind of stuff that most people have to deal with. You know, I talk to some of my buddies who work in traditional industries, and it depresses me how negative the conversation.
Yes, I know.
It's just,
I know.
Oh, I'm drained. I'm this and I'm that, and I'm like, I can't even.
It's a
tell you-
trap.
It is, and I'm blessed to tell. And I feel bad for him, unfortunately, but I tell him every time, I don't even remember what that's like. You don't know all the things I deal with, so it's a give and take. That's fine, but I couldn't even recall allowing myself the availability to feel that again. I just can't. So for me, it's all in, no plan B. We got to just evolve or dissolve, learn along the way, and that's why that was such an important question for me, is if you believe in entrepreneur.
Oh my God, I do.
They succeed.
And not only that, something we have to talk about. Sorry to bang on the microphone. I always do. Very clearly, they do not want us to have community. Our community is the opposite of that. They want to break us apart. They want us fractioned, which is a lot of what you've seen happen on social media. I can't, look, we have to smoke behind hidden boxes, right?
Right.
Why? Why, man? I could drink a beer right now.
Exactly.
Why?
Yeah.
Our community makes us stronger and them weaker. This podcast makes us stronger and them weaker. High Times makes us stronger and them weaker. Beard Bros makes us stronger and them weaker.
Fact.
Anytime we tell the truth, actual truth, we make ourselves stronger and them weaker. They are attacking media like crazy right now, man.
Oh, it's absurd.
Absurd. And I'm sure inevitably they will come again
Yeah.
for me.
Right.
And so be it. I'll fight them off again, hopefully, and I'll win again. I hope. It's not about that. It's about keeping our community going, man.
Right.
We have to still talk to each other. We have to convince people to not fall into the trap. Don't go, be careful. And they try to trap you young before you really even understand. Don't go to work for Amazon. I'm sorry, Amazon. Sorry, Jeff. But if we can keep people out of that trap, if we can keep them working for themselves, back, dude. Homestead is working for yourself.
100%.
Being a homesteader is being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
It's one of the earliest forms and one of the purest forms. Kid yourself not. This is the way.
Right. Oh, definitely.
Because now you don't have to buy from
Self-reliance.
Megacorp. You don't. What do you mean you're not at Safeway every?
Yeah.
What are you
Trying
talking?
to cut them out.
You're not buying that broccoli wrapped in plastic
Right.
from Mexico? What do you mean, man? No, with all that stuff we put into it?
Yeah.
No,
The vegetable
no.
that doesn't grow anywhere naturally on
Just the one. Well, the one that won't have mold after a month.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm supposed to eat. No. We have to keep this community alive, man. The cannabis community is only one of many. One of many. But the coolest thing about our community is that I believe we are more empathetic than almost any other, man.
I
because
agree.
we smoke.
Right. Well, and we've all been on similar paths.
Yeah.
Like some industries is more of a melting pot where obviously you get different traits and different backgrounds, but it's such different journeys to get to the same places. We all have the same journey to get to different places. So it's I think there's a camaraderie there that's always brought me into the lifestyle.
Yeah.
High Times, that was my realization that I wasn't just this alien alone in the
Yeah,
world
yeah,
with
yeah.
these thoughts.
Isn't that
because
great?
I was young enough to where I couldn't really talk to my buddies about this. I remember one of my older friends taking me to the side. He says, "Hey, you cannot let people know you smoke. You cannot talk about this. Like, this is going to get you in trouble." And just to piggyback off that for a moment, a buddy around the same time of my life reached out to me the other day and just said, "Hey, I just have to reach out to let you know I love to see you being the guy everyone made fun of for smoking and the outcast and the stoner,
Yes.
the skeevy stoner when
Yes.
it was not cool or essential, to now being someone who's following your dreams,
Yes.
who's blazing that path, who's trying to stay innovative in an industry that now is the exact opposite. Now everybody wants to get into it. Everyone wants to experience it. So it has been an awesome ride. And
Okay, and they want to come in, and yet they say to me, and they ask this question that I wish they would not ask: how do I get a job in the cannabis industry? And I'm like, no, bro, please don't ask me. You're missing the point. No.
Literally.
You create your own job.
100%.
Create your own job. That's the way. You will never have a better life, I truly believe, than if you work for yourself. Do you agree?
100% agree. 100% agree.
How do we spread that more? How do they understand? They think they want to work for you. And I'm like, no, you want to work for you.
Right.
You don't want to work for me. You want to work for you.
Right.
Pick up some knowledge from me. I'm right here giving you all the knowledge you got. I'm giving you
it.
more than you need.
Soak
Here's the
it.
knowledge. Now go start your own thing.
Yeah.
Do it, man. You'll be so much happier, and you'll benefit society as a whole, because I know you'll do better than Bezos and Bezos Corp or whatever it is, or Blackstone. You'll do better for society than they will. That's for sure.
100%.
Come on. So
You
do
actually
it.
will want to give back to the
You're going to
community.
want to give back. You've got to do it yourself. You've got to create that business. There's always a way. My thing that I try to tell people is start it off small.
Right.
I'm scared. Start off small, dude. Start it off small. Start it off really small.
Right.
And if it works on a small scale, you scale it up.
Exactly.
Don't bring on investors, please. God, please don't bring on investors. Hold it onto it yourself for as long as you can. I know you think the way is investors. That is not my particular preferred way. I'm trying to put it as gently as I can.
Right.
As gently as I can. Earlier, you asked me about authenticity and branding. We were talking about this kind of thing. An authentic way is if you do it all yourself. is if you don't have that. What's the team I need for my new business? You're the team, man. You got this. Come on, you got this. Your team, got someone really close to you that you're a partner you're in love with. Bring them in. Have them work together. That bond you guys even more than before. 100%. There's your team. That's what you need, man. Right. You got kids? Bring them in. Let's all work together. Make a freaking awesome, tight family unit of entrepreneurs all working together towards a singular goal of mutual success. Right. That is amazing. You will do better than you'll ever do working for some schmuck like me. Come on. And you'll have a better time.
No, for sure. Especially if you bring your family into it. I do have to interject there and say that some people are very clear that they don't want to work with, or, don't work for
Yeah.
I am exactly against that. My wife is our co-owner and CFO. I'm working with family brings the best out of your work and can give you the best opportunities within your work.
Yeah. And the more you can focus on chasing happiness instead of money, the happier you'll be. Right. What if you catch whatever you're chasing?
Right. I was just gonna say, if you chase money, you'll eventually catch it.
Yeah.
If you chasing happiness, it's always this growing, evolving thing that you can always keep reaching for, even if you're the happiest person in the world.
That's true. We asked you guys on Instagram to submit some questions that we could answer to help you win. And here's a couple of our favorites. We got some really great ones. But this one, what is the most important change you have made that has had the biggest impact on your success? For me, the biggest change was when I stopped chasing cool. I stopped trying to be cool a while ago, man.
Love it.
Yeah. So I'll tell you a story. Just a couple weeks ago, I was at the Champ show, and I was on stage with Currency, who's an incredible artist and a friend of mine. And he is a car guy, like the most car guy in the whole world. And I used to be a crazy car guy too. Until during the pandemic, I realized that it wasn't making me and people around me happy. Like growing up, when I had all my toy cars, someone once gave me a toy Ferrari, and I couldn't play with it because I couldn't imagine myself in it. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
Like it was so beyond my dreams that I couldn't get in there. And so I remember that car just kind of sat there. In fact, it was kind of like the bad guy's car because I couldn't do it, Right. And so eventually my measure of success in myself financially was when I bought a Ferrari. And I was like, wow, my God, I did it. Oh my God, I got the Ferrari. Well, the thing is, wouldn't it be great if it was the case that happiness is tied to money?
Right.
You make enough money, you buy the thing, whatever it is, and now you're happy.
Yeah.
Except it didn't really actually make me happy at all. In fact, it created more work and more stress and more caretaking and more all that kind of stuff. And then I noticed when I was driving it, it was making people around me unhappy. It was making them jealous, especially once the pandemic hit.
Right.
For a moment, people were, cool, oh my God, such a cool car, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, once that pandemic hit and so many of my friends lost their jobs, suddenly it was a reminder of, that's a douchebag over there, man. And I was like, I could see it in their eyes. I could see that they were unhappy with it. And I don't like making people unhappy. So I traded horsepower for horses. What I noticed was the Prius made people happy. I had this Prius. I wrapped it in purple color changing film. I put rims on it. I flared it a little bit, tinted out the windows. It was a badass Prius, man. And when I rolled up in my Prius, you know what I mean, to some event.
Right.
I'm showing up looking all cool. MGK's there, and I come out of my Prius. Dude, it made everybody happy.
Right. That's
you know what I mean? It was just like, it created joy and happiness. It made me happy. It made them happy. I was like, and I didn't have to worry. And it's a Toyota. It never breaks. This is great, man. Yeah. I'm just like this. This is great. I didn't have to worry about people dinging it as much. It was like, oh, cool.
Right.
Cool.
A breather.
Whoo, this is great. And that I realized it made me happy. Also, trading horsepower for horses and ending up with Jagger and Elvis and Bowie, my guys, that made me happy too. Much happier than that Ferrari ever made me.
I love it.
Yeah. So I try to invoke to people is don't chase cool. Chase joy. If it makes you happy, it's totally worth doing. If it truly makes you happy. I wish that Ferrari made me happy. Jacob, I swear to you, I wish it did. I wish it was like that. Think how much easier it would be in life if you bought that thing, whatever that thing is, and suddenly you were happy. Wouldn't that be a
Yeah, oh man. How
Wouldn't that be
easy would that
easier?
be? Yeah.
Oh, shit, dude.
man.
That'd be so much.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
No.
It doesn't work, at least not for me. And everyone has their own happiness. Maybe that car will make somebody happy, and that's great.
Right.
It just doesn't work on me, man. And I don't think it works on you either. And I think most people, they think it will work on them, and it won't.
Exactly.
It won't. It won't.
Yeah.
It won't. It won't. It won't. It won't. It won't. Everyone's idea of success is different. Sometimes you have to do the thing. This is the thing. I feel like nobody would believe me, and nobody probably still believes me. I mean, I'm sure some do, but I feel like people don't. You don't believe it until it happens to you. You won't believe that success doesn't bring happiness until you've become successful and it doesn't bring happiness. And then suddenly you're like, okay, now what? Now what? Well, you have freedom, bro. That's what you got. So now take that freedom and find your happiness.
Exactly.
That's a measure of success.
Find your horse.
Yeah, there you go. Find your horses. Find whatever it is. Find whatever it is that truly makes you happy, because now you've got that freedom. You went through the gauntlet.
Exactly.
You're on the other side of it now, man. Now what you going to do with it? It's like the end of the first Matrix.
I was just going to say, yeah, write the next chapter.
It's like, okay, now what? Anything becomes possible. It just changes things. I wish every human being could experience that feeling, that understanding, that knowledge of going through it. It's terrible, but going through it and coming out the other side, and suddenly you're Nero. And now what? Now what? Fuck, man. I still kind of answer myself. I try to ask that question to myself almost every day.
I'll get there soon.
Yes, you will. And I want you to, man. I want everyone to go through it, because that changes us as a society.
100%.
The more we can, because it's breaking free. It's getting the chains
Right.
off. It's coming out.
gonna say,
It's
breaking the
seeing it.
shackles.
Yeah, it's seeing it. It's really seeing the Matrix and understanding it and being like, got it. Got it. So if I go in there and I become one of those chains of, oh, no, that's not the way. Well, I can do that, and they're going to try to force you to. But if you can stay out of it, if you can stay independent, if you can stay free, if you can stay humble, if you can stay true, wow, man. Life becomes so open. So open. I really try to have fun. I say to myself all the time, and again, this is not about me, I say to myself all the time, Josh, if you can't enjoy life, then very few can, bro.
Right.
You got to. You
Yeah.
got to go do. Got it. I understand. And then something else comes up. I like high times where you're like, really? Really? Me? Bro, I got thrown out of the first high school I was in for getting caught smoking pot in the dean's bathroom.
Perfect choice.
My guidance counselor threw me out. Mrs. Nadler told me I would never amount to nothing. So it's like, like, really? Me? All right. I've just kind of learned to roll with it and just kind of laugh and being like, that's why I'm telling you, like, so much of it just seems to me like it's a dream, like it ain't really happening, you know?
Right.
You become a little bit disconnected, but you want it. You want to experience it, but it just seems so impossible. Because even though our bodies age and we get old and all that stuff, our minds still think of us back then, you know?
Definitely.
All right. Let's get another question up here. We have, how do you maintain work-life balance while being stoner smoking weed? That's a good question. When I have a lot to do, I smoke less. I try to use smoking as a reward system for myself. So like during the day, I'm here.
Same way.
Yeah, because it works.
Yes, it does entirely. I always tell everyone, you can't be upset in smoking, or else you're just it's going to be your crutch all day. You have to save it. You have to get through that difficult time. So then when you get through it, okay, now I'm going to smoke and enjoy myself. Your high is going to be that much better. You're going to be that much more relaxed. It's going to be firing everything it needs to. I mean, yeah, it has to be a reward system.
It definitely does. 100% agree, man. I'll do my videos. Sometimes I'm not allowed to smoke till after the video, or else the video will go on forever. And there'll be 1,000 takes, you know what I mean? What was I supposed to say again? Oh, shit. So it's like I hold it back. I start giggling and laughing, knowing that as soon as I clear it, when I've done it, it's like, smoke time! And so there's so much. And when you do that to yourself, when you use it as a reward system, it's wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the next break is end of night. Okay, am I done? Am I done with everything? Am I done with everything? Is everything actually done? Done.
Boom.
Good? Woo-hoo! Time's out, you know?
Yeah.
Fred Flintstone pulling the whistle. It's just a done. Not smoke. Next thing you'll lay there.
Yeah.
This is great, man. This is great. Or a Saturday or Sunday when I got nothing to do. Oh, thank God. Oh, those are wonderful. I love that
just
shit.
a little bit extra just to enjoy it that much longer.
But also, if there's nothing to do that day, then I get to wake and bake.
Right.
And then it's like, oh, this is awesome. I'm going to go back to bed.
Usually not.
It depends upon the day. Hopefully I got nothing to do where I can do it. I love it when I have nothing to do and I can do that
If
shit.
you have a full day though, you're not going to wake up and smoke.
If I can't. If I got especially about something with relating to the daughter. Oh God, no. Nope,
Right.
Nope. Hopefully it's a day when there's goddamn nothing to do.
Right, huh?
I know I really want to go for a bike ride later. Yeah. I want to hang out with Elvis. He needs a lot of hugs. He really does. I don't want to get some kisses from Jagger. He was this tough, mean old rodeo horse. He only loved my daughter, hated me. He hated me, dude. I would walk into the arena, he would just no, running away.
Wow.
It took me 2 years to get through to him. And now I can honestly say he loves me and I love him.
Oh yeah, those are the best. That'll be the best horse.
Oh
when it
yeah.
comes to relationships,
He knows.
100%.
He gets it. He protects me, which is how I know.
Wow.
Like a horse, he gives me kisses all day. But it isn't about that. I knew because when Bowie joined our herd, the blind horse, though he's not fully blind, he can see out of one eye, kind of.
A true Bowie.
But he's, I know. But he's kind of blind, He's basically blind. A really poor guy. Because at night, if I don't get him in early enough, he gets stuck. That's how you know that he can't see.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many hands tall?
He's about 15'4".
Nice.
Yeah, he's a good guy, really good guy. Appaloosa, so he's a little crazy. But so when Bowie was first joining the herd, he was being very mean to me, like as horses often are.
Right.
No. He's trying to show me that he's in charge, and I'm telling him nicely, you're not. Sorry, Bowie, I can never be mean to you, but you're not in charge. It's not going to work. Sorry, Bowie, I'm going to start training you, and you're going to hate it, but okay. And one time he was particularly like getting head bobbing at me, and Jagger came running up and chased that horse off like hell no. Wow. And they came running back to me, stood next to me, and then when Bowie tried to come back, Jagger was like, nope, chased him off again. And I was looking at Jagger, I'm like, you love me.
Wow,
Oh, I know.
awesome.
Like, Bowie, you love me.
That's cool.
Like, my guy, I love you too, bro. And now he's my guy. Yeah. So yeah, if I'm going to do that during the day, if I'm going to go hang out with the horses, I can be stoned. That's fucking great, man.
Sure.
Get stoned and hug a donkey. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
You just hang out with him. If you just sit down, he's going to want to come hang out with you.
Sure.
He just wants attention. So yeah, getting stoned, hang out with the donkey. That's a great day. That's not a day wasted.
Sounds great.
No, feeding the quail. I got a whole bunch of quail, and they got these cute little plumes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you got to protect them from. Okay, I swear, I live this funny life, man, where I spend time like I'm always looking out the window, looking for
Predators.
coyotes, and what else? If you're looking for coyotes, I got birds. What am I looking for? Roadrunners.
Oh yeah. Oh for sure. All the
Roadrunners.
birds. Yeah.
Now the birds of prey that swoop down, I've got all the stuff to chase them away, but the roadrunner's not scared of anything.
Yeah, they're nasty little birds.
I know.
Gnarly.
And they come and eat my quail babies. I'm like, no. But it's like, dude, I'm living in a cartoon,
Literally.
But it's a great life.
I have chickens myself.
Do you?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
How many?
Currently none. We just harvested, but
Oh.
yeah, unfortunately. But I do have a bunch of nesters as well. So we have layers and then broilers.
Okay.
So
Respect. Okay. Next question. What do we got? Okay. This is a really good one. What the hell do I do, man? I'm working 6 days a week, waking up at 5 a.m. and getting nowhere. I think they have to listen to what we were saying earlier.
Oh, entirely. Yeah, you need to make your new waking up and every day towards the new goal. You're going to wake up at an early time if you're going to go and get it. You're going to work and grind every day no matter what. It's all about what you're grinding towards. What are you working towards? The reason he might feel stuck is because those aren't his goals. Those aren't his dreams. He's in a
He's probably working for who knows who,
else.
some large megacorp.
Right.
Now, the thing is, this is something that someone taught me called the 2 trains theory. Now, the problem is we end up with all these responsibilities. You got rent. You got all these things you have to pay. And so you can't just, I can't just switch and start working for myself. Okay, so what you do is, it's awful in the beginning, but you actually have to work harder. You have to put in extra hours to start your entrepreneur journey. You've got to start doing something, whatever it is, that's an entrepreneurial aspect, something that where you're truly working for yourself. And you got to do it at the same time that you're still doing everything else. You've got to put in more time. And then little by little, you're doing less of the thing that you hate, working for someone else,
Right.
and shifting more and more towards...
Then it's just you.
Right. The 2 trains theory is like this. if you were trying to, two trains are going along. If you're trying to jump from one train to the other and they're going completely different speeds, it's almost impossible. You're going to get hurt. You're going to fall off. You're going to get demolished. But if you speed up one train and maybe slow down the other one enough that they're both going at about equal speeds,
100%.
then you can kind of step right off one, right into the other. And it's quite easy.
Right.
So that's essentially the two trains theory, and that's what I think this person needs. You're never going to get anywhere. Never. I was taught never to say that. You're unlikely to get anywhere working for other people. In that trap that you're in, it's so unlikely that you're going to get out of it until you begin working for yourself.
Right.
That's the way it is.
Yeah, it's the sad truth in reality. Because if it's not for them, you're just going to do it for someone else.
Yeah.
When you finally thought you found the person, you're going to get laid off in 15 years, you know.
And while they're working for themselves, by the way, when they first start off, the odds are the first few things they're going to try, first several maybe even, aren't going to work. But as long as you learn from each one of those, then in its own way it did work. Well, I tried this. It didn't work. I tried TikTok shops. It didn't work. Great. Keep trying. Keep trying. Don't stop. Did you learn anything from it? Yes. Great. Keep going. You're going to do it. As long as you don't give up, that loop will get her. You'll keep gaining knowledge till eventually you'll become successful.
Right. Wasn't
because you
that
picked it up.
Edison who said that, no, I didn't. I found 99 ways to not do it.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah.
How do you balance success and personal time? We talked about this a little bit, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
You don't. If you truly enjoy what you do, if you love what you do, then you don't have to worry about that balance. I'm sure there's times when you have to actually focus on something that isn't work, of course. But the goal is to love what you do so much that that question you just asked becomes completely irrelevant.
Right.
That's the goal. Now, how do you prioritize uplifting people during difficult moments in your life when you are struggling? I like that question because I remember several years ago when I was being incredibly attacked and things were really down. I felt very, very downtrodden. And then I went to an event. I didn't want to go to this event, but my people convinced me, no, you're going, you got to go, you got to go, you got to go. I was convinced to go to this thing called Buds and Bikinis. And while I was there, a person rolls up to me in a wheelchair. And my back was hurting and I was really feeling downtrodden in so many different ways. I was under all this attack. And he rolls up to me. And he's there anyway. And he's so happy to see me there. He just wants to take a picture with me.
Right.
And we smoked together. We hung out. And he was so overjoyed that it made me overjoyed.
That's cool.
You know what I mean?
Of course,
I picked
yeah.
up his energy.
Contagious.
Yes. And I was just like suddenly all my problems just kind of melted away in that moment. And then I went on to the next person and the next person. And I was just kind of picking up energy from our community.
Right. Literally uplifted.
Yeah. All the times I had spent uplifting them, now they were back uplifting me. And that took me out of it. And this isn't about me. The thing is, when you are struggling, when you are very downtrodden, and other people around you need your help, there's something about switching to helping them that in its own way will uplift you. It will make you feel better. It gives you perspective. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I think when you're feeling that during those difficult moments in your life, I think that's the time you have to help other people the most.
I like that. I agree.
It's worked for me, man.
Yeah, that was I think it's Tony Robbins' story where he had
Really?
$5 left in his pocket, and he was either go put it somewhere in a machine where he thought he could get a little bit more, and right when he got up, he saw a homeless person outside, and he just gave it to the homeless person instead, and it was like his big break that day with the book he just wrote or something like that. So he claims that he gave his last little bit, and then that's when he got it all. So
I look at it a little different, just in the fact of you're going to pick up energy from that person,
right,
and it's going to make you smile.
I agree.
And it shifts your focus until suddenly it's just not there.
It's not a problem anymore.
Right. How do I get over the feeling that I'm running out of time to become successful? I think the easiest way is to recognize that you're not running out of time to be, okay. Grandpa Joe, Poppy, I called him. Until the very end, and I mean the bitter end, he was not giving up on becoming successful again. He had everything taken from him through different awful ways, but he was convinced that he was going to remake it and give back to the family and give back to his kids and all that stuff. Until the end, he did not stop. And He passed away still trying. And it turned out that one of the things he had done earlier in his life, years after his death, came back to actually become a very successful.
Wow, that's amazing.
Which helped out my dad and my uncles and the family. So it's never too late. Man, if Poppy can do it from the grave, then you can definitely do it. Even if you don't think you did it, you probably might have already done it. So the thing is to get that out of your mind. Get that out of your mind right now. If Joe Kesselman was here, he would be yelling at you like a drill sergeant to get it out of your mind. He really would.
That's a cool perspective.
So just get it out of your mind. It's not too late. You can do this. If Poppy can do it, you can do it too. And that's true. It really is.
Especially like you said, from the grave. I mean,
from the grave.
There's no point after that.
How do I have more faith in myself and take chances? Wow. That's a tough one. It's a tough one because the person who asks that question, someone who's going to ask a question like that, is telling you that they don't have enough faith in themselves and they're scared to take chances. And the truth is that we all are that way. You know, there was a time that I felt that exact same way. I'm sure there's a time that you felt that way. I think we all feel that way at different times. So the first thing is to understand that you're not alone in feeling that. You're not alone. You have to act anyway. You're going to be scared. You're going to be frightened. You're going to feel all of this doubt and The bravest person is not the one who doesn't feel that. The bravest person is the one who feels that all incredibly strongly and acts anyway. That is the definition of bravery. So how do you have more faith? If you take one small step forward, understand that you're probably the bravest person in the room.
And always remember, anxiety and excitement is the same thing.
In closing, what I want to say is if you watch this whole podcast to this point, first of all, I have mad respect for you. Because yes, I'm a stoner. I ramble. I talk too much. I go off topic and come back on. And such is life and such is our community. But the fact that you watched it to this point, the fact that you sat there and watched this podcast, what does that say about you? To me, it means you are someone who's trying to figure out how I made it this far. And I'm doing my best to try to tell you how I made it this far. I want to share knowledge with you. I'm hoping that these stories, these ramblings have uplifted you, have shared something with you, something that will help you in your journey. And if it does, then I think we've done an amazing thing here today. And if somehow we didn't, well, then I'll try again very, very soon. One thing I can tell you with an open heart is that I love people. You know, you might have heard that I'm vegan, and I am. I don't want to hurt animals. And the ultimate animal, the ultimate expression of an animal, the highest form of living is a human animal. It's true. It really is, man. So if you really love people, you want to help them. You want to see them succeed. You want to get them out of the matrix. You want to see them happy. And if you're able to do that even to the smallest extent, then you've done something incredible. When I am sad, or when I was sad, especially in the beginning, when I would feel downtrodden in any way, I would remind myself, hey, Josh, your rolling papers have made millions of people around the world a little bit happier. You know what I mean? Because they have. Because I truly believe they're the best that have ever been made. And I know it's giving people that experience, or else why would they keep buying it, you know? 100%. So the fact that I gave them that little bit of joy, just that little bit of joy through the magic of paper, I remind myself, Josh, you did a great thing just by doing that, dude. You did great. You did better than almost anyone else you actually know, didn't you? Yes, you did, Josh, you did. And then I smile and carry on, you know? But now if I can share even more with you, if I can help you succeed, either in business or in life and anything like that, then hopefully I've done a little bit more. I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. And until next time, stay high.